additional time? No? Sister? Are you good?
Good, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, I'd like to make a motion to approve the January minutes. Can I get a,
Oh,
Rodrigo, can I get a second?
second.
Thank you. Discussion on the January minutes? Yes, sister?
I'm sorry, no.
No, okay.
Sorry.
Does anyone have any discussion? Questions, concerns? No? Okay. All right, I'd like to vote to approve the January minutes as presented. Can all in favor say aye?
Aye.
All that oppose say nay. None opposing, the January minutes are approved. Okay. Did you find it?
No, so we-
Okay, so we're gonna move on to our treasurer's report. So go ahead and look at the treasurer's report for this month, or from last month, I should say. Okay. Anyone need additional time? Does anyone need additional time?
No.
Okay, so the treasurer's report is just accepted as is. You found it?
Yes.
Oh, perfect,
Well,
sis. Okay.
Lita did.
Cool. All right, so moving on to main topics of discussion, how's that? Good, okay. Item 7A is just the bank signature changeover. I'm gonna turn this over to our treasurer.
Yes, okay, we need to make some changes, to the bank account. Okay, the following people need to be removed as signers on the account: Belinda Anaya, Teresa Mariscal, and Sharon Carrillo. The following names are going to be added, as signers on the checking account: Adriana Juarez, Marco Maldonado, and Lita Hernandez. And only one signature will be necessary to transact or release funds on the account.
Can you please repeat the names for removal?
Removal: Belinda Anaya, Teresa Mariscal, and Sharon Carrillo.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't need approval.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the bank signature changeover? Can I get it first?
I'm sorry, only one signature?
Motion first, then discussion.
Yeah, motion first, then we move to discussion. Don't worry, we're all learning here. So can I get a motion? Thank you, brother. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, sister.
Who first? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Rigo. Discussion on the bank signature changeover? Yes, sister?
What was that statement that you just made about just needing one signature to do what?
Basically to write a check. We only require one signature.
And it's always been that way, just
Mhm.
one signature?
Yeah.
No,
Well, at least since I've been here,
No,
it's
she's
been-
asking if it's always been like, isn't it two signatures or,
Since I've been on the e-board, it's always been one signature.
okay, so one of
And-
the three,
Huh?
one of those three people.
Yeah, one of those three people. Like, but I cannot sign a check under my name. Somebody else would have to do it. Or Lita cannot sign a check under her. And checks cannot be made under cash either. So somebody else would have to sign, let's say if there's a check for either of us, somebody else has to sign it.
Any additional questions? That was a good one. Yeah.
And we're not allowed also to have, a debit card.
Anyone else? Any additional questions whatsoever? Okay, I'd like to make a motion, to vote, let's vote on this, to approve the bank signature changeover. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, say nay. Okay, the bank signature changeover is approved. Item 7B is our upcoming ACE program. I have a date. I think I'm gonna hand this over to my first VP since she met with Julie to actually hash out the final details for this, or some of the final details on this yesterday in my absence.
So I went ahead and met with Dr. Mitchell yesterday, and she gave me the list of basically all the DLT, all the admins who signed up to join us. And we're really excited because we got a really good group, a really good list. So Marco and myself now need to get together and email all of the directors and say, hey, here's somebody who, we need somebody from custodial. Who would you like them to shadow? We always encourage them to be the best of the best. We want to showcase what our people do and how extremely amazing their jobs are and how hard they are. We want them to feel proud of us. And so that's the whole point of this program. It's something that CSEA and the superintendent worked out many years ago, and we've just continued to do it, and it's a great opportunity. So hopefully you guys will be hearing things out. If you know of people who are interested in being shadowed, please let myself or Marco know, because we would love to give you guys the opportunity for someone to see what you do if you're interested. Yes.
Board members are shadowing as well, right?
Yes, they are.
Correct.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have, we've got people who are interested in the warehouse, we have people interested in
Yes.
building services work, custodial work, health assistance. It's a pretty wide variety of people, and they've asked, for some people have asked for specifics. We're
Yeah.
gonna try to help if we can. Others have really asked for just give me anybody. And so that kinda gives us free reign to figure out, okay, where do we really need them to be? Where do we really need them to see?
Tony's class.
Yeah. At my site, we have one that we're thinking
Yeah,
of.
you need
Rico,
somebody
did you
to
have a
shadow
question?
that one.
Yeah, for the past, I think, couple or few years that we've been doing this, I know the whole purpose is for them to see the hard work that we do.
Yeah.
And is it just to get a pat on the back, or has there been, if you noticed, any changes that they see that, okay, this person is doing this, maybe they need a little bit more help, or they need more hours, or they need
Right.
anything, has there been any changes that occurred because of this ACE program?
I know specifically for this last year, we did have David Malcolm, who was with our building services guys. And being with that team, he saw the condition of the trucks that building services had, and was pretty appalled by it. And that same year, they purchased a bunch of new vehicles.
Yeah.
So we're not, I'm gonna say, it's not intentionally trying to be like, hey, this is horrible and I want you to experience horrible with me. It's, I want you to see what I do on a daily basis, and I want you to see my life, and this is what reality is.
Yeah.
I want you to be proud of what I do, but I also want you to see that some of it is not always beautiful. Some of it is digging things out of toilets and climbing up on roofs, and, it's not just sitting in an office all day, and doing things from the background. So, yes, we would love for them to see where need is, but the ultimate goal of this program is to make them see all the good that we do. And so I don't wanna say, yes, for sure, we're gonna send somebody here just to, show that those DLT, because the ultimate purpose is to make them proud of us and to make them see firsthand what we do.
Yeah,
Anything
thank
else?
you. No, I just wanna further reinforce that. This is an opportunity for our district leadership team, our board members, to really walk in our footsteps. The intention is for them to see what it's like to be us, to do our job, not to stand off on the side and watch us do the job that we do every day, day in, day out, but for them to do that job. It's not for us to, I'm having a problem at X site or in so-and-so's classroom, I'm gonna put someone there. That's not what the intention is, and that's really not what we plan on doing. It's just to, like Lita had said, it's to give our district leadership team and board members a chance to be us. Even if it's just for 3 hours, it's a chance for them to walk in our footsteps and to feel what it's like to be a computer lab tech, in my case, just for that short amount of time. And it does make a difference. Like Lita said, last year, David was assigned to one of the guys in building services, and he just happened to have that truck, one of the trucks from who knows when.
In 1970.
Probably, yeah. There we go. So
But I'm gonna be honest, before I interrupt you, Karen, if we do know of members that are going through a tough time at a site, I would really encourage them to participate in it. I understand that it's just to showcase it, but I also want to make sure, just like David Malcolm saw it last year, they saw it the year before and they bought some other tools that they needed. If we have a place where we need to focus on, hopefully we can get somebody from that specific department or that specific site that volunteers to showcase themselves with the shadow. You know what I mean? Because I'm for that.
With that, we have a question from
Yeah.
the live stream. Beatriz Valente wants to know how, she wants to be shadowed, so how
Okay.
how do people sign up for this?
Okay, I'll write down her name right now, and I will contact her this week.
Got it.
It's, can you spell the name for me?
Beatriz Valente, sorry, I need my glasses. Valliente.
Okay, I should be able to find her using her
Valentine.
district email.
What's her classification?
Do we know her classification?
I believe she's an assistant.
Secretary,
Secretary?
Rowland.
Okay.
She's a secretary.
Rowland High School.
Oh.
Oh,
I think,
Beatrice. Hi.
actually, that may be on the list anyways, just so you know. Just so you know, that may be one of somebody that, somebody had requested anyways. So not a bad thing. Also, just to give you a little bit more background on this, the event, generally what we do, just so that, for those of you, I was lucky enough to be able to participate with getting everything ready and, decorating and doing all those things last year. So I kinda got to see the program and got to stick around for the lunch to see all that they do. I'm probably not gonna be able to help this year. If you're interested in being a helping hand, we're gonna be looking for people to help us out. I believe there is some release time that would be provided with that. So if you guys are interested in being hands-on, like, let's do it. If it's before your hours or after your hours, we'll work it out. We have to have people there to help us. Just so you have a little bit of an idea how the program goes, generally the administrator will work with these people for about 3 hours. If a bus driver leaves at 5:30 in the morning, then they will be there at 5:30 in the morning with these people. They generally work the 3 hours, we'll have a break in between, and then the person plus the shadower are going to be going together to this event to have lunch together. So they're sharing their experiences with the other people at the table, and also Julie leads it, and with the help of Marco will be the other one in charge. And they're gonna hear straight stories. They're gonna get pictures of people pulling things out of toilets and stuff. So it's hilarious. It's great. But it really is a wonderful opportunity. And with things being so difficult this year, and for them really, we need them to see firsthand the amazing work that Classified does, and how important and integral it is to the working of our schools, and to ensure that our kids actually get the support they need. We need this.
Can we make sure we get two people from the warehouse department, one doing the mail and one in the warehouse? just so we can
I
see
will
both
do my
of them.
best.
But I don't know the names of who it'll be.
Yeah, no, that's
Because we
okay.
rotate.
Right,
So
and that's perfectly
When that
fine.
time comes, it's whoever's doing that job at that time.
I believe someone did ask for the warehouse, so
Okay.
we will have at least one. I can't guarantee 2 yet, but like I said, we haven't even had a chance to really go through the list fully yet. But we're gonna do our best to make sure that we have somebody for every single department or every single job title. Just, to make it fair for everybody. Yes, Patty?
You said it's just 3 hours?
If they work generally for the 3 hours,
Oh.
and then it's a lunch. The lunch generally goes, I think it's like an hour or an hour and a half
Yeah.
for the lunch. And so the supervisors, everybody will be aware of this event. We have to give them 2 weeks' notice that this is what's happening, this is where you're going, here's who's gonna be shadowed, so that we make sure we have adequate coverage for those people.
I've done it for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Basically, they shadow you for the first hour,
Mm.
and then after that second hour, they take over and do what your job is.
Yeah, you're supposed to be standing there letting them do it.
Yeah.
And it
It's
can't
like,
be
go ahead,
longer.
do it.
When you're training
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
step into
Yeah.
your footsteps
Right.
and do what you're doing.
Yeah, and it can be a longer shift, like, yes, last year I was taking pictures of, one of the director of of the adult school, and his shift started at like 5, because he was with building services, so he went from 5 till whatever time it was to get to Nogales or Rowland High School for lunch.
And he was putting tar on roofs.
Yeah.
And he was putting
and-
tar on
rain.
roofs and it was pouring rain, so
Yeah.
depending on where they get placed or where they wanted to, it can be a longer shift. It's generally 3 hours because most of our managers wanna be, or get assigned to some clerical or school site position, which generally starts at 7:30. Generally starts at 7:30.
And I've been able to be a photographer for the last 2 years, and I plan to do it this year. And last year, I remember, he's right, I had to start, taking pictures at 6:30 in the morning, which it was fine, but it was pouring. So they were out there, and no raincoat, nothing, they were out there putting cones, setting up for the kids to start coming to school, and in the pouring rain. So it was a sight.
So what I think I'll do with my first VP's help is I will try to go back to the Google Classroom. I will post these positions that Julie gave us, or the classifications that Julie gave us from her management team on what people would like to be assigned to. And we will reach out with your help to the site reps and just start getting people within those classifications that want to volunteer to do this, okay? So we'll get that going this week. Does anyone have any questions on ACE? Any further clarifications or anything? No? Okay, so moving on to item 7C, t-shirt update. I'm going to again hand this over to our illustrious first VP, who's been handling shirts.
Got the folder there, right there.
Oh.
I apologize, guys. I did not get over to technology to count the shirts for this month, and that is totally my fault. I don't have an excuse. I just didn't work out the time. Luckily, I know where they are, and I know exactly they're in small, medium, and large. I will work on that as soon as possible so that we can have it.
If not, let me know and I can help.
Yeah, and Adriana's offered to also help me count as well. But I just wanna be completely transparent. I did not count this time. But I know where they are. And they're not moving. No one's been touching them. So that's good news. Now, we received a lot of goodies from a couple different people. Thank you for everybody who sent us quotes and sent us information. What I'm gonna do is I would love to be able to pass these around and have discussions on them. I want you guys to see them, to feel them, to look at them. Especially since you guys are here, let's see if we can find an option that we like. If we don't like any of them, let's continue to look. I think I would love to make a decision today, but I want you guys happy. So if you don't see one that you're like, you know what, I think we can do better, or it's not really that great, be vocal, okay? Because the only way we're gonna do this is together. So I'm just gonna read them off to you. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll walk. If Gina, if I can have your help, I'm just gonna pass them up there. So the first one we got one from Ruben Haro. He works for Haro Athletics. The first option is color front and back logo. He's saying for about 100 to 500. It would be about $650 per shirt, not bad. He also said 501 to 700. It would be color again, would be $6 per shirt. So that one, I believe it just depends on the amount. If you're gonna get more, then you're gonna get a little bit, you're gonna get 50 cents off. There's another option on there as well. He did a different one. It's just the back logo, not front and back. If we just do the back logo, do 100 to 500, it's $6 per shirt. If you only do the back logo and it's 501 to 700, it would be $550. So again, 50 cents less than the other. So this is one of the options if you wanna pass that around.
Now, the back logo, can we decide instead of the back, it would be in the front, or does it matter?
I'm sure that, we'll have to discuss with him, but I'm sure that it would, probably he's just means
Just
one
one
side.
side.
I'm assuming that he would just mean one side. Another option, we got one from Indwell Printing. This is another invoice, premium t-shirt. They have men's and women's options. It looks like this one, he's saying that the prices are roughly $7.90 each. And he gave us some samples, so we have the colors here, and you can also see kind of the quality of the shirts as well. So here's another one there.
I actually submitted a new one today, and
Okay,
I
okay.
did, cause that was originally we stated that we wanted American made
American
only.
made, yeah.
Oh, yes,
So I
yes,
sent
yes.
a new one, I actually have it. if you
Oh,
need me.
perfect, thank you so much.
But it has 4 different quotes. The
Okay.
top one, is $7.90 for men's or women's American.
Okay, perfect.
And then there's a premium version that's, I think it's like $6.50 and $6.75.
Okay, yeah, so there's,
For a soft one, and then like 425 for the general, like unisex.
yeah, so there's actually, there's even more options on here, guys. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
So
options.
this is the same company, right?
Same company, and
And he's
pictures of the
basing
shirts.
it
will
on,
help.
I sent him a picture of our current shirts that we have with the logo on the front, and then that big logo on the back, single color,
Mhm.
and then we picked the shirt color, but, I mean,
Awesome.
obviously it can,
It's the same
And
as
he's-
long, we don't have like a, you guys didn't specify if you guys wanted
Yeah.
a different logo or a different style or whatever, so that's what he based it on.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Another member also sent us, she was looking at the Oriental Trading Company and saw that there was an ad in there as well. It looks like these, it says all included, no hidden fees. They're Fruit of the Loom cotton shirts, short sleeves. Depends on quantity. It can go from $6.50 all the way down to $3.22. So another really good option. And it looks like you can design it, so we could do something in the front as well. So that's another option. And lastly, there's a company called Graphic Motion and Arts. They're in Whittier. I messaged her because I've worked with her before. She was saying she can get shirts as low as $7.50 each. She would waive all setup fees and be able to start screen printing for us as early as Monday if we wanted it. And she said it would be $1 cheaper if we are not going to get, if we wanted, instead of a poly cotton blend, if we just wanted to do all cotton, it would be $1 cheaper. So here's
There's an
another
all
one.
cotton shrink.
That is a problem, so that's something to just think of. If you're getting an all cotton, you probably wanna be a little bit more careful when you're drying. If you're doing a poly blend, also another good option, and there is a possibility of fading, so,
Yeah,
I mean,
I say we go with the blend, cause,
Yeah.
you know,
Some
not
people
everybody's
maybe-
gonna, you know, take care of their shirts.
right. And some people are more concerned with, the price, like, they're like, all right, whatever, I'll take good care of my shirt, but I really want the cheapest price so we can get as many shirts as possible. The best thing is you guys are looking at them, just take a look, comment, and I think we can even continue with the meeting and we'll bring it back up again.
Yeah, and again, there's no pressure. If you guys want to, we can post this again on the Google Classroom so that members can also view it there. And then we can come back to this next week. Hopefully, maybe we can make a
Next week?
decision. Next week, I'm sorry, next month. We can come back to this next month with maybe more data or at least more input for membership. So I'm in no rush. I want to make sure that members are seeing and get a chance to weigh in if they really, really want to weigh in on which vendor we go with. So we're gonna come back to this. So go ahead. I want the quotes to circle. We're gonna move on to item 7D, and that is just nominations for conference. Our secretary, I think, is prepared, right, with a list of who.
Yes.
Marco,
Yes,
yes,
brother.
What is the time frame for that ACE program? What dates?
So it's the 24th, is that the date?
Yes.
March 24th?
Yes.
March 24th is the day of. We need to get out a list of who is going, who is participating 2 weeks prior. So Marco and I we gotta put a fire under us and work on it. We just got the list yesterday, so we gotta get this out and we gotta get it out fast. If you guys are interested again for the ACE program, let us know as soon as possible. If you know of somebody who you've seen that you're like, you know what, that person is awesome and I would love for people to be able to see her, let me ask her if she would be interested or he would be interested, and like encourage them too, because word of mouth, that's gonna be the fastest way that we can get these people in these spots. And if we don't hear anything, we'll do our best to just fill it, you know?
Yes, sister.
Yes, I'm happy to help behind the scenes.
Okay,
Not
perfect.
shadow, but
Yeah,
behind.
no, that would be awesome, thank you.
That'd be awesome. Thank you, sister. Okay, so at this time, I'd like to open the floor for any nominations for conference delegates.
So, Marco, should I, just read off, should I read off the 10 that are eligible, so everybody knows who's eligible? Who has the 5 meetings?
I would just take the nominations,
I would
because not
just take the
everybody wants to
nominations,
do it.
Yeah.
And if they don't qualify, they don't qualify.
So we have a list, just so you guys know, we have a list of 10 members that do qualify. And the list is here, so if anybody would like to see it, it's here. And I also brought the sign-in sheets. If there's anybody that would like to, or is gonna be nominated, and we need to verify, I can verify that today as well.
Yes, sister?
Can you go over the details on the conference?
Yeah.
Oh, that's another part of our training, resolutions.
Yeah.
Write them off.
Sorry, I wanted to pull up in our CMBs, the section on the
20.
eligibility for
Page
conference.
20.
Thank you, sister.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna also allow the rest of my e-board to chime in as we go along, since I think everyone at the table here has been to conference at least once. CSEA conference, is held in July. It's the one big business meeting for CSEA, the entire organization. It's where we all come together, all of our brothers and sisters from everywhere in the state, to basically discuss business of our entire association. So at the local chapter level and then the regional level, we can come up with resolutions. The best resolution I can really point to right now is like the summer assistance program that closed last Friday. So I hope everyone that was eligible did sign up for it. We, as members, we're a member-driven organization, and we can present to our other brothers and sisters in the state these items that are of interest or concern to us as a chapter or a region, and we come together and vote on whether or not this is something we want CSEA as an entire organization to fight for our behalf, on our behalf. At our last.
So it's basically, items about legislation and.
It's items about legislation, it's when we come together, just like on our chapter level, we have elections. Our state organization also has elections, so when, at conference, it's when conference delegates would vote for any of those vacancies or any of those positions that are coming up for election or for renewal.
Also, the treasurer, they also have a treasurer's report where the members get to see the money for the whole state, you know what I'm saying? And whether they have questions on it and how they spend the money.
It's not a conference in the same way that, like the paraeducator conferences where you go and there's classes that you take and
Well, there is,
seminars.
there's
There are,
areas.
don't get me wrong, there is an educational
Right.
component
For-
day, but the majority of it is just business. You are there to conduct the business of the entire organization. So,
It all
Where is
depends,
this
you
gonna
could,
be held?
in Las Vegas.
in Las
I
Vegas.
think this is the last year, and I believe that they're gonna be going, from what they,
Laughlin, I
from
think.
what they, no, it was, Tahoe.
Tahoe.
Tahoe, from what I heard, is gonna go to Tahoe because the rates did get more expensive at Vegas. They used to host it at Vegas because it was the cheapest anywhere else. It's really expensive to host it in California, even though it's the California employees. It's just too expensive. So what they did is Vegas was giving us better rates, and since you have to be on a union hotel, the rates just got too expensive. So Tahoe is a union place, and it's a lot cheaper, but they're gonna have it in Tahoe and in Phoenix, Arizona. Those are the two sites from now on. So I just don't remember the formula if it's 2 years there, 1 year in Arizona, or it's 1 year in Tahoe, 2 years in Arizona. But that's usually how they break it down.
And I know that
What's
this,
the timeframe?
It's if it's not an election year, it's 4 days.
4 days?
4 days. If it's an election year, then you have a 5th day for elections.
So this year will be 5 days.
No,
Four
four.
days.
July 20th through the 24th are the dates.
July what?
July 20th through the 24th.
And I believe we were able to, well, I'll speak on this later. Adriana and I went to a training this weekend, and we got to hear the president of the entire chapter speak, and he did mention that the resolutions have now been submitted, so they're gonna be sending us that information soon on what we should anticipate to be able to vote on. So we can present it to you guys, hear what the chapter wants to say, so that the delegates who go vote on your behalf. We don't vote on whatever we want to.
Right.
It's what
Yeah.
you guys
Yes,
want us to
sister.
vote on.
yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No,
No,
don't
it's
be
good.
sorry, sister.
It's awesome.
Okay, so is there like, a training or something for the delegates before they go to conference?
Yes.
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 There
Yes.
is?
The resolution here, well, we have to meet, in our area, we'll all meet and we're required to be there for that meeting to go
If-
over every single resolution
If
meeting.
not, we cannot attend.
Yeah, You have to.
That's a requirement.
You have to, yeah, exactly. And it's literally, the entire resolution is read, every single one of them, so it's a pretty long night, for that one. Yeah,
And, the nominees, are they, preferably different classifications, or
it's
what is
any
your
member in good standing that has met the eligibility. So the eligibility to be a conference delegate, is that you, or an alternate, sorry,
Alternate.
cannot speak. You needed to have at least attended 5 chapter meetings or committee meetings prior to today's chapter meeting. Okay?
So it went from February to February. That's when
Yeah.
the 12-month period is February to February.
So anyone that's come to a minimum 5 chapter meetings, or if you serve on a committee and have met any combination, 3 committee meetings, 2 chapter meetings, you are eligible for conference. There is no other stipulation. You are all dues paying members, so as long as you have been coming to chapter meetings or committee meetings, you are eligible to go.
and this is the last meeting to
No, this meeting doesn't count.
No,
We're
We're going to nominate, and
Yes.
then we'll do the, yes, we'll do a voting for the next meeting.
Yeah.
We'll do a blind ballot vote.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
Yeah,
if
no
you know
problem.
someone who's interested and they kinda mentioned it to you, feel free to nominate them today. Worst that happens, if you're not sure if they've really met that 5 meeting, stipulation, we can check it and we'll make sure, we'll contact those people, Gina and I were talking about it today. We'll contact those people and let them know, hey, you know what, I wanna let you know you didn't make the 5, you won't be on the ballot. And that way they can say, oh no, I was definitely there, you know what I mean? Cause we wanna make sure that they have a chance to speak up too, if they're like, no, I definitely know I was there, and then we can look at it together, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna do our best to make sure that it's as fair and open to everybody. You don't have to be present to be nominated.
no, but you do have to accept right now. I
Yes.
just clarified
We would just
that.
have to
So,
contact them to
to
have
my
them accept.
brothers and sisters in the virtual world, you just have to be reachable right now. Oh, that one, okay. Reachable right now. Okay.
I also, I don't know if you
Yes.
mentioned how many delegates.
So that was, decided, it will only be open to 2 standing members. Per RCMB's, the president and the first vice president go, and we only allotted for 4.
Okay, so far.
Yeah. So please nominate, because I need to make sure that there's a pretty hefty list of alternates, just in case.
I'd like to nominate
Okay.
somebody.
Well, if we can just get through questions first.
Oh,
Are there any other questions, any comments, concerns? I did just wanna mention to, everyone, virtual here, the location for this, I know that has been sometimes a source of contention. It is not decided by us as a chapter. We do not decide where this conference is held. It is decided as an entire association where it's held, and like Rodrigo alluded to earlier, there are certain parameters that CSEA kind of abides by, the biggest one being that it needs to be at a union hotel, which kind of already makes it hard to find suitable meeting space, because as you can imagine, CSEA represent it classified employees for the entire state of California, so I think it was like 200,
Yeah.
right? 200,000. It was a lot of people, so it's not easy to house that. And they did at our last conference show us the cost of trying to house it, like have it in Anaheim, and it was just astronomical. So I just wanted to be known, we do not decide where this conference is held. These rates, from what I remember from our last conference, were locked in during the recession, which is why we were able to get them for such dirt cheap prices. So I just want to throw it out there. We don't decide that it's in Las Vegas. It's the entire association that decides that, okay? Are there any further questions, concerns, before I open the floor up for nominations? Yes, sister?
You said committee meetings, like, are you talking about like professional development meetings,
Yes.
stuff like that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, any of the standing
Do
committees.
you have sign-in sheets for those?
Some of them do have sign-in
Oh,
sheets.
okay.
It's kind of been, I've been kind of back and forth on Jody with that one too, because some of the committees can do just, my argument has been that some committees don't need to physically meet, that their work can be done from a virtual space. And we've kind of gone back and forth on how do you prove that you met, you know? But yes, some of those standing committees do count.
Okay.
I think, Gina, we just instituted that they would just sign it, right? So do a sign-in sheet?
yes,
when they physically met?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm moving from this point on, so before, previous to this, but if they did a meeting,
This was
let's say
something,
in October, they're still eligible
when did we,
It's February to February.
without a
And-
sign-in sheet, that's what I'm asking.
we had this
Well,
discussion
when the
a
amendment-
while ago.
Yeah, when we changed the, CNBs, the
Mhm.
second reading of the amendment, that's a standing rule, so that
Yeah.
applies now. It was, I believe it was,
I don't think that's what
Three-
she's asking though,
what,
right,
what's,
sister?
what's,
It's
So my
whether or
question
not,
is if they met in October as a committee,
And there was,
but there was no sign-in sheet, are they still eligible?
no, they're not. If I don't have any sign-in sheets, they're not eligible.
I can say, so, our food committee met so that we can discuss, know your contract, know what we were anticipating for food for this year that's going on. I had one other member who attended with me. We went ahead and we met at Panera. I typed everything up. We printed it out and we were able to sign it saying that both of us were present. And it was just the two of us, but at least we've got some proof saying that it's not just like, oh, we're just talking online. Cause that was a point that was a little bit difficult this last year, of, well, how do we prove you were actually doing the work? How do we prove you were actually having a committee meeting? You gotta have something of proof. You gotta have something that shows that you were signing and that you were present. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Something that's signed that says, and I know we don't have, now we have more committees that have begun, but I know the food committee was one. What were the others, Gina? I
And
know
the
you had-
professional development.
Oh, and the professional development
Those
group.
are the two that were eligible from prior.
Okay, yeah, so those are the two that we have. We actually have one more now, so that's exciting. And yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
So
explain that
do
later.
you have any of the sign-in sheets for the professional development committee? Did you have any when you guys met up?
I don't think so, I don't think so. We only physically met either once or twice when I was first VP.
Yeah.
A lot of, like I said, our communications have just been through email. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it's an ongoing conversation I'm having with Jody. I think the digital space is something that we as an organization need to figure out because it's not acknowledging that, let's say the food committee can meet virtually and get work done and not have that count doesn't seem quite right either. But video streaming, CSEA I don't think has caught up to where we're at digitally right now. So
Yeah.
they don't count, but it's an ongoing discussion I'm having with Jody about these rules and how we can make it somewhat equitable.
but if like Patty says, if you're saying that you guys met like even electronically, wouldn't an email, if you guys are emailing back and forth, be designated as a signature? Like pretty much because
Yeah.
you're having that conversation. I mean, it's not an electronic signature, but you having dialogue in regards to something will create a
There's record on there.
right. There's a record on it.
That's the argument I make, and I will continue to try to make. It's just right now it's not happening. It's
So we prefer, I mean,
Yeah.
because our language was just changed, moving forward, we prefer sign-in sheets, so
yeah.
whatever needs to be signed by any members that are attending a meeting, whether it's electronically or whatever it is, we need to have a sign-in sheet to record it,
Got it.
and I will be recording those.
Right, but what I have an issue is, we just passed this, last month, correct? So, past practice has been, that's what I'm trying to get at. If we could get a clear answer from Jody, because to me, back and forth email creates some type of record saying that there was a meeting. So to me, that's what I'm just saying. If last month we created this new system, it begins from last month on. But we're talking about a meeting that happened when, Patty?
I don't know, I think it was November, October.
I think so.
November,
Right.
October, so
Yeah.
it's in the past, so
I
that's
just-
what I'm trying to
just
say.
saying this
But
is
what-
like a meeting
but
that
this
will
was-
qualify
this-
that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
was something that was passed last month, but brought up to our prior president
Yeah.
over a year ago, so.
I know, I understand, but it was passed last month.
Right, but it still was
No.
it still was a standing rule.
But even if, it's a standing rule
It
since
was a
last
standing
month.
rule a year ago.
No, it wasn't. It got voted on last month, correct?
Yep.
Am I getting it right, or no?
As changing and making an
Correct,
amendment to the
correct.
language in our CMBs, yes.
Last month, correct? So that's a rule. That's
So-
when it started.
Just so that we can move forward, I agree. I personally don't believe it's fair because virtually, I don't think we can accomplish a lot of things just through email. It sometimes is harder to meet physically than it is to just be able to converse via email and the work gets done. It's a conversation that I will continue to have with Jody. I will seek clarification. I just know that this was an issue brought up in the past, and I do feel that it's unfortunate that for those committees that meet virtually to not be able to be qualified because they don't meet in the physical world all the time to get the work done.
Can I make a recommendation for Patty? What I would do, if you wanna recommend the person, recommend it. If,
Yeah.
we'll get the clarity, I mean,
Yeah.
if he emails it, I'll email to Jody just to get confirmation, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You get me?
Where's that?
Everybody's wondering over the.
It's better to put a name in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we said last year. Put a name in,
Okay.
because the worst that happens is we're gonna have to tell you no.
Okay.
At least if you put your name in, or you put your friend's name in and they say, yeah, put me on there, at least you've got that going for you. You know what I mean? Cause if you don't do it today,
Yeah.
they're not,
How
they
about
don't
if
have
we
the
get a
opportunity.
yes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To avoid any argument in the
Yeah.
future, if there's gonna be any changes like that, can it be put down in writing or a new standing rule on that?
It's gotta
Yeah.
be presented
It's
to the
gotta be-
members,
Yeah.
yes,
There's gotta
we've
be
gotta
a new
present it.
amendment done on that, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if Jody approves it, then we would
Then we'll
just-
bring
we
it
would
up again.
Change it again.
Okay.
And we can totally do that. You guys, it's your CMPs.
Right.
We can change them.
So,
Okay.
yeah, are there any, I think I know who you're talking about, I can nominate her as well, but, yeah, I, like I've said, I think it's unfortunate, it doesn't count, but, you know, I've said my bit, So I'm gonna open up the floor for nominations. Do we have any nominations for conference delegates? Yes, sister,
Margie Gonzalez.
okay, can we,
Okay, who's?
oh,
Margie.
perfect. Margie, do you accept that nomination?
Hold on, guys.
Yeah. What?
Marco,
Sorry.
can we have them say their name?
Say your name
and
first.
then who they're nominating?
Okay, sorry, so, sister, can you say your name first and then who?
Margie Solano, and I'm nominating Margie Gonzalez for
Alright.
transportation.
Thank you, okay. Do you accept that nomination, sister?
Of course I do. I, don't know if I qualify, but.
Okay, we'll figure that out, yeah. Yes, brother,
Yes, I'd like to nominate myself.
okay,
Okay. What is your name,
first
sir?
and last name.
My name is Gilbert Aguayo. I'm with Transportation.
Nice, thank you, brother. Yes, sister,
I nominate Denise Garcia.
okay, thank you, sister. Sorry, first
Yeah, I know.
and last name,
Noreen Blanco,
yes,
nominating Denise Garcia.
thank you.
And can we find out if she accepts?
Yeah,
She
can we get a, okay,
Okay,
just
she did
accepted,
accept,
yeah.
and I'd like to make a
Message.
nomination as well.
okay,
So through text, was the answer? Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Patty, sister,
I'd like to nominate Carrie Leahy, and she also accepted. My name is Patty Cruz.
Okay.
Can you spell Carrie? Is it with a C?
Kiri, and then Leahy, Lahey.
Okay, and a text again, yes?
And she accepted?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Gina?
I'd
Yes.
like to nominate Patty Cruz.
Do you accept?
I accept.
Can I nominate another person?
Yeah, nominate whoever you want.
And I'd like to nominate another person on the list, Margie Solano.
okay. Can we find,
Margie's right here.
oh, we were, oh. I'm so sorry, I'm learning so many people's names today.
I accept, except for if it's a problem with the teacher that I work for, with.
No, it's
We,
next summer.
during
It's
summer.
in
Summer.
July 20th to the 24th.
It's summer.
Do you know the exact dates? I'm sorry.
The 20th to the 24th.
20 to 24.
Yes.
Karen.
I don't know, I've got 2 nominations on the YouTube, or does that count?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you?
No,
If you're streaming,
one
why
of,
not?
should I read out their names?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, Hector Pineda, from Nogales, he nominates Reggie.
Okay.
And Hector, well, how many nominations can one person, can he
You
give?
could do, you could do multiple.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same person, Hector, Pineda, also nominated Gilbert.
Do you know the
There you
last
go.
name for Gilbert?
It's you,
There.
right?
Yeah.
Well, you got nominated too.
I nominate,
So we need to get a hold of Reggie.
Okay, can you get hold of her?
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, I would like to make a nomination. Marco Maldonado, I'd like to nominate Adriana Juarez for conference owner. Do you
I
accept?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, brother.
We can make more than one,
Yeah.
How about Hector Pineda?
Can,
Okay,
can
so
you get in
who's
contact with him
Deborah
to see if he accepts?
Yeah, I
Are
can
you
call
guys
him right now.
together?
Okay.
I can call him.
You nominated Hector?
Oh.
Okay.
Again, I don't know if she's able, but, I did have
Yeah.
someone approach me today. I would like Leader Hernandez, I would like to nominate Francine Morales.
Hey, Gilbert nominated you to go to the para conference. Do you
No,
accept?
the CSEA.
The
CSEA.
CSEA, not the para. The CSEA conference. So you decline?
That's not fair.
Hector decline?
But he nominated you back. So in other words, you have a chance to go as well.
Adriana,
You have to
Adriana.
make the requirement.
I don't have his number on this phone.
Reggie?
Reggie.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll go ahead. He respectfully declines because he doesn't meet the requirements. Here we go.
Who's that?
This is Hector
Hector
Pineda.
Pineda.
Thank you, Hector.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Tell him to get the CrossFit.
Yes, sister.
Let's see. I don't know if we can get a hold of a couple of the others, but I had another nomination of Karen Rodriguez.
I think we can get a hold of Karen Rodriguez.
No, I have a couple others, yeah.
I have to text him. He's on a trip.
I don't know.
I need
It's
more
not on
paper.
triple safety.
Who do I make the check to?
CSA, Rowland.
Okay, so I'm
CSEA.
waiting to hear back from Reggie. He is on
Rowland
a trip.
chapter 1.
So let's see if he gets back to us.
Okay, so, do you want us to go over what we have so far, just to verify that we're good?
Yeah.
I think the last one I wrote down was Francine. Did anybody after Francine?
Karen.
Karen,
Okay, Karen?
yeah.
You-
Did she accept?
Did you accept?
Oh.
So it was
Are you
me.
doing her?
Yes.
Okay.
I nominated you.
I'm sorry. I was like, is there more than one Karen in the district?
No, there was other people on my list, sorry, I
It's
didn't mean
been
for
a
the
long
confusion.
week, I'm sorry, I'm an
Yes, it
airhead
has.
right now. I respectfully decline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have
Karen,
something
what's your
to
last name?
Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Just attendance as usual.
More? After this, you can
Maybe just talk, circle back to
Anybody
teacher.
else, guys? Oh, Gina, yeah, go ahead.
I do, I'm trying to nominate the people that haven't been. I've got a Claudia Guzman. Claudia Guzman?
Yeah, and I decline, thank
You decline? Okay.
Okay, okay.
I'm all in my face. Okay.
I have another job, I have to, I'm obligated.
Anybody else? Anybody in our Facebook realm who's saying anything?
Oh, I got another one.
Okay.
We don't know if she wants to.
Gina's also nominating Debbie Dobson from Repro.
Can we get
Let's see if we can get a hold of
I
her.
don't know, I can't, I don't.
And does
I can't.
anybody
Hold on.
have,
do you have the sign-in sheets?
Yeah, I've got it here.
No, from previous meetings.
I've got the second sheets from February to February.
Okay, I think she's always written her number down on that one, I think.
Oh, yes.
I don't.
Yes, brother.
remember
Are we
seeing
gonna
it.
answer questions besides the nomination after this, or
Yes.
October question after?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I answer? Can I ask you my?
Yeah, go ahead. While we're trying to figure out some of
So I
these,
have a question about,
yeah.
the district shutting down for the coronavirus. Classified workers, how is that gonna affect us? Are we gonna get paid, or are we gonna be working, or we're gonna do anything, like?
What are you talking about?
What are you
Why
talking-
is it shutting down?
Well, I heard that LUSD might close down
Oh, she does.
due to the virus.
Okay,
It might, due to if there's more infections going around in LA, they might close a couple schools or the district.
I have not heard
I heard about that on the
anything.
news.
Yeah, so,
And
so,
then
okay,
LA, I mean, Rowland's part of LA, so.
no, yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be a concern that, are we gonna be out of job until we're clear to come back?
Okay, you know what, so let's take some of that apart. It is true that we do have a couple of cases of the coronavirus in LA County now. I understand your concern because most of us, in this room here work with children directly. What I will do, Julie has been sending out communications via email, to all staff about, what preventative measures we have been taking as a district. I know that at the school site level, they've been doing a lot of the Clorox 360 cleanings, but I will touch base. What I can do is I can call Julie and see, just relay to her that this is a concern. What would happen in the case of a district shutdown? Okay, I do want to make it clear. I have not heard that we are shutting down, but I think that is a good thing for us to at least know what would happen if that happens. Okay, so I will talk to Julie about this. I'll call her. Yeah, I will call her.
Gina also
I
is more
think-
public relations.
I was
And
gonna say,
Gina, yeah.
based on the email that was
Yeah.
sent to all of us,
Yeah.
it said that they're working on a plan for
Yeah.
the case that happens. Obviously, they can't jump the gun on that,
Yeah, of
but
course
I
not, yeah.
imagine that there's gonna be a plan, but,
Yeah,
I mean, something that's never really happened.
no,
so
and I imagine that
play it by ear.
my ability to communicate with that plan out would be very limited because I imagine they wouldn't want to start a panic.
Yes.
So if I'm only able to say that the district does have a plan because I've heard what their plan is, then I will tell you the district does have a plan in place for what would happen if the district shuts down. And I will specifically find out what happens to pay,
Thank you.
okay?
Okay.
Just in case. Thank you, yes, sister.
I will say this, the last time we had something this big was like, I think the SARS. The district went ahead and prepared the whole schools by like paper, I think it was plastic bagging, the water fountains and stuff like that. They had employees and kids, if they had a fever or something, they had them, that's pretty much what they're gonna do again this time.
Okay, so we have to tap into our sick time,
Yeah,
basically.
they've never shut down the district
Oh.
for something like this.
Yeah, I just heard, cause I heard in the news earlier, this
Other-
morning
yeah.
about LA being.
In Washington State where they have shut down specific schools, I haven't heard that they've shut down the entire district, but it's okay.
No,
It's a good thing that we start thinking about that just in case, so, I will talk to Julie about it and I will communicate what I can communicate out to all of you, okay? I'm still waiting to hear back from Reggie. Yes, sister?
Can we nominate Maria Barrios?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Lorene Blanco. She's nominating Maria Vargas. I missed one.
Do you wanna call her?
She accepts, okay, good.
Do you wanna call her?
She already.
Oh, she already said yes?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Lorraine
That's
Blanco? Lorraine Blanco?
chance to talk to her.
Yes.
Who nominated?
Lorraine Blanco
Lorene
nominated,
Blanco nominated Maria
Maria
Barrios.
Barrios.
I missed her.
Yeah, sister.
So do these, nominees have to be present on the day of voting?
I don't
No.
think so.
I think you said
I don't think they do.
No.
I don't
think
think,
so.
they don't.
I don't believe they did last year.
don't
We'll
think
check the
they-
CMBs to ensure, but, I don't think they did last year. It's just a matter of whoever gets the most votes, that's how we do it. And then anybody who's still got a good amount of votes, but, some things happen.
Yeah.
Some people get sick. Yolanda was supposed to go this last year and then she got extremely ill. And so luckily we have that list so that we can go back and the next person on the number was able to be pushed into that spot, so.
I would like to make a nomination for Brianna Kohler. I'm gonna text her. So I'm still waiting for Reggie. Yes, brother?
Are any of you guys from the board automatically going, or you guys need to be nominated as well?
Just, first vice president and president automatically go.
The other two are from the body.
Okay,
From
and
membership.
Brianna did accept via text.
Text
Yeah.
accept? Thank you.
Text accept.
So we're
Any
still,
further nominations? I'm excited, we got a lot.
Gina, did you get nominated yet?
no,
I nominate you then.
unfortunately I declined, cause I wanna give everybody the opportunity, other members the opportunity, cause I went last year, but thank you though.
That's very nice of you.
Could I just encourage you to just keep your name on that list? Jody wants us to have an exhaustive alternate list, so
Yes.
just in
Sure.
case.
Sure.
Thank you.
I mean, I'll keep it on the list as decline, right?
No.
She doesn't wanna go.
We don't wanna go at
She
all.
doesn't wanna
No, I
Okay.
had the opportunity last
Okay.
year and I'd like to
Okay.
open it up for new
Okay.
members or
Okay.
other members that haven't been.
Yes, sister?
So, how do the, alternates get chosen?
So I actually don't know how the alternates would get chosen in this
The
case.
alternates get chosen from the people that do not get, do not win
No,
the
but-
election.
I think what you're asking is, okay, so if I can't go, who chooses the alternates?
Yeah,
Oh,
because we're
then-
gonna vote on only two of these
Yeah.
people on the list.
No, I know.
So
I
what about the
just read it
alternates?
yesterday. The alternates get picked from the people that don't make it, let's say don't make the cut, right, to go. And then, let's say if somebody can't go at the end, the president picks which alternate attends.
Oh.
And I just read that yesterday.
So what kind of candy do you like? No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Where's that
So-
at?
And the CMEs.
Shouldn't
Just
they
kidding.
get picked beforehand,
Under
even though they know
conference.
that she's alternate?
I think,
No,
for
I
me
think
personally, and I think, I can't speak for Marco, but I would think if you got a good amount of votes, you should be the next option, you know what I
But
mean?
that's not
So-
what the CMB says.
I know,
I'm
but,
sorry.
I mean, if
I'm
it's
sorry,
happening
so
there.
it's
So
just a
it's-
little tweak, it's the executive board. So the
Yeah.
executive
I
board
was
shall
gonna say it's the
determine.
executive
No,
board,
wait.
Which all-
not just the
No,
board.
see, shall we,
Yeah,
Why don't you guys
executive board.
read
in
the
the
entire
event
section?
Adele cannot attend the.
Yeah, so if you have a copy of our CMBs, it's
Oh,
on
I
page
see. No,
21.
Yes.
Under section 2C, under election, it says, in the event a delegate cannot attend, the executive board shall determine which alternate shall replace the authorized delegate. So it would be, the E-board
Us.
would determine who would replace that, delegate. Okay?
Based on this list.
Good question. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
This is good. Yes, brother?
Yes, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So when I get picked, do I bring the food or?
Snacks. You can bring snacks, okay? Do we, so I am still waiting on Reggie, but, I'm not sure how long. Do we,
Can we
okay,
proceed?
do we have any other further nominations? Anything from our live streams? Any other?
Just,
further nominations?
Brianna was
Yeah, she
nominated
was,
also,
yeah.
so that's it.
Okay, so, I'd like to make a motion to close, yeah,
I motion.
okay,
I
so,
first.
okay. Can I get a second to close the conference nominations?
Very quickly, I apologize. Debbie, I have not heard back from,
Okay.
so unfortunately,
Okay.
she is not able to say if she's going to go.
Okay.
Did you hear back from Reggie?
No, I did not hear back from him.
If we're closing it, we're
Okay.
closing it. And I also have not heard back from Francine,
Okay.
so.
So who would, so we're making a motion to close the nominations right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
So that
who
would-
first did?
I did.
Oh, sorry, did we close it yet?
No.
No,
Yeah,
not yet,
we
we're
can
still in
vote.
process.
We have one more nomination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Curtis.
Okay.
That was from
Okay,
Metro.
can we-
Metro Pineda, nominated, Mr. Curtis.
Curtis,
Did he
what's his
accept?
last
Can-
name?
Maurice?
Yeah, can
Maurice
we-
Curtis.
Does someone have a,
Curtis Maurice?
Did he
Maurice
accept?
Curtis's last name.
yeah,
I don't
Maurice.
have,
Do you,
Maurice?
do you have
it's
his,
Maurice.
I'll
Number?
look on the
Maurice?
sheets,
Yeah.
I'll look on the
Okay.
sheets.
I don't
He
have his
did
phone
accept?
number, so.
no, do you have his number to call?
Oh,
Would
yeah.
you mind calling him or texting him? Yeah.
I know,
I know,
I never call
Yeah,
Maurice.
that's okay.
I know he did, I always call transportation.
Does somebody have his number, somebody call?
I can share we've
Okay.
got 3 transportation friends here
Okay.
today, so we should be able to reach them.
One of them should be able to reach the trainer.
So, do you mind me asking, how
Yeah.
many people are on that list that have actually
So,
Accepted the nomination.
Ooh, a lot.
I think it's 9.
You
I've,
wanna read
I've
this?
got
I think
12.
it's 9.
So, cause it started with, Margie.
So Margie Solana, so we have Margie G, Gilbert Aguayo,
Mhm,
Denise Garcia,
mhm,
Carrie Leahy,
mhm,
Patty C,
mhm.
Margie Solano,
I have 9.
Reggie, we have no comment.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
think I
Gilbert?
got him.
You were nominated again, but you were already taken care of. Adriana Juarez, yes.
Yes.
Hector Pineda, no. Francine Morales, no comment. Karen Rodriguez declined. Claudia Guzman declined. Debbie Donson, no comment. Maria Barrio accepts. Brianna Kohler, text yes. And Gina Garcia declined. And the last we're waiting for is Maurice Curtis. So I believe it's 9.
And Reggie, right?
Reggie,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
Reggie,
cannot
Reggie
be
Yeah,
was,
but once we
he
close,
was no comment.
yeah, no comment yet.
No comment yet, so it's not closed yet. Let's see if they
I mean,
respond.
if we close it, can we just let them respond? So we can't take
I don't
any
think
more
so.
new nominees?
It's,
No.
it's
No,
not
once
fair.
it's closed, it's
Yeah.
closed.
It needs to be fair.
So I will,
Yes.
So,
You know what, I've been getting more involved and I would like to nominate myself, just to see
Okay.
Oh, nice.
okay.
a lot more
Okay.
of what's going on.
What's your name?
My name's Edgar Gallo.
Edgar Gallo nominating Edgar Gallo.
Do you accept?
alright.
Alright, I don't want to prolong our meeting, so nothing, right? Okay.
Anything else?
That's unfortunate. Okay, so,
So we have 10.
I'd like to make a motion to close conference, nominations.
Okay,
Can
I first.
Okay, can I get a second for that?
I second.
Thank you, sister. Any discussion on the matter for closing discussion, closing nominations? No?
Can you read the names, please?
Yeah,
Again?
one more time.
Wanna just go over it one more time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can read them again, yeah.
Margie G. We have Gilbert Aguayo, Denise Garcia, Carrie Lacey, Patty C, Margie Solano, Adriana Juarez. Sorry, going through declines. Maria Barrios, Brianna Kohler, Edgar Gallo.
Yes.
Those are the ones who have said yes.
So how many is that total?
10 is.
10.
Yeah. And then we'll just cross-reference the 10 that have accepted to make sure that they are eligible. And then next month, we will vote on conference delegates,
No comment.
okay? So, any further discussion? No? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to close. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose say nay. Alright, the ayes have it. Alright, so I want a chance to circle back to item 7C. I think everyone by now has had a chance to look at all the quotes that we've collected thus far for shirts for our chapter. Do we wanna discuss it at this meeting? We
Another
wanna-
option, if you don't feel comfortable doing it yet, and you wanna hear from your membership, I can email these out to my site reps
Yeah.
and to my office managers, so that
And like I
then
said,
you
we
can show them around, see what
Yeah.
people say, see, maybe they have a better option too. You know, maybe they know someone who could
Well-
do $2.
well, maybe at this point, maybe not accept more
Okay.
quotes
Right,
because
right.
we need to make a decision.
Okay,
So-
Exactly, cause the more people you get involved, the more confusion it gets.
okay,
Yeah.
If you're here, you get the right
Yeah.
to vote.
Yeah.
whatever.
okay.
I've
Yeah.
got a question on this,
Yes, if they wanna
from
decide,
Ruben,
they need to come.
Ruben Haro. Are
He's gonna be
these, do
here,
you
right?
know if these are cotton, all cotton, or if they're polyester or half polyester?
They're the Gildan shirts,
And decide
so
here.
whatever the Gildan shirts are,
So those are half and half.
Those are,
they're the Gildan.
So do we
Three goes right.
Do we wanna make a decision of it at this chapter meeting, or do you want us to post this on the Google Classroom
I want them killed.
between all the quotes and,
I like the blended ones,
And poly,
Yeah,
instead of
What
all
do-
cotton.
blended front and back.
me
I
too.
think we should just decide right now.
what do we wanna do?
We wanna
I
decide.
have, I don't know what to comment.
Mhm.
I think it's kinda tricky for me to make a decision just because I feel like quotes aren't always like in line, like there has to be very specific,
Right.
like what design are we choosing, what colors, and then we'll say we vote and we think that we're getting the most bang for our buck, but then there's, then turns out there's a fee to set up
Okay,
like the image and
I
all that.
understand what you're saying, yeah.
So maybe we should have more clear cut like
Okay.
guidelines on the 4 that have been submitted, and
Okay.
then so that we can compare like.
Apples to
item-
apples.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine,
I think
that's a
it's easier
good
to vote,
point,
and then we
sister,
get a more
yeah.
realistic idea of how much it's gonna cost, 'cause
Okay.
obviously cost is a factor.
So what we'll do then, we'll just get a quote for what we currently have as shirts, which is the single color, logo on the front, logo on the back, submitted to all 4, or I think it's 4 of them, right?
I think it's 4 now.
Yeah, all 4 of the vendors to give us a quote for just those parameters.
Based
and
on
then
our budget too.
we will-
so.
You know, they
We
can
will
send
come
you
back.
samples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they can.
Do we
So
want,
Bring your samples and we all get
That
to look
might
at
be
the samples,
better,
we can
and
decide
so
Okay.
they
a lot
visually
easier.
see what it's like,
Okay.
what they're gonna
Okay.
look like.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's our problem, we can circle back to this next month, we'll reach out to each of the 4 vendors, we won't accept any more quotes at this point. We'll reach out to each of the 4 vendors, give them the parameters for the quote, ask for samples of the shirts, and we will have maybe some sort of a mini shop next month of shirts, and we can
Or
then,
the more
Touch it,
accurate
feel
um,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
we can
We'll
vote
post
on
the
it.
prices on,
Yeah.
for each shirt on top of it,
Yeah,
and
but-
something like that.
I know there's one for the Fruit of the Loom. I really do not encourage the Fruit of the Loom because they tend to be very thin and
True.
it's a cheap shirt,
Yeah.
let's put it that way.
Okay.
The Gilman or whatever Patty said, that one
Those
tends
are-
to be a very good shirt.
Okay. So encourage, I know some of my site reps are here, encourage members that are really excited about shirts to come to our next chapter meeting. We will work on getting the sample shirts and quotes for that very specific parameter, okay? Thank you for that suggestion, sister. So,
We're gonna
okay.
table this for next month?
Yeah, so we're gonna table 7C for next month, and we're going to just do some more homework, okay?
And I'll get you your shirt counts. And again, I'm sorry, guys. That's all of it?
Okay, so we're gonna move on to, item 8, report of the executive board. I have a few things to report. We do have a new committee to report back to. We, do have a fully staffed, audit committee. We have 2 of those members here, I was gonna say Garcia, I don't know why I'm so sorry. Patty Cruz, Claudia, as well, and have, agreed to be part of that committee, as well as, I'm gonna butcher her name, Adurni,
Who's
the timekeeper at Rowland High School. And then Cecilia, will be the chairperson, and she is the secretary for Ed Services here at the district.
Okay, good, 'cause I need
So-
to be audited.
Yeah. So thank you for stepping up and willing to, commit your own time to serve on a committee. As always, we do have committees that are still dormant and vacant, waiting for members to step up and fill those rankings.
And what are their duties?
For the audit committee, or
Oh, yeah, for them.
for the audit committee, they basically will audit the books
Once a year.
once a year.
Unless,
Unless
President
otherwise
asks for it.
directed, they'll just audit the books once a year.
not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's good to have, I think, sorry, I'm stealing your thunder.
That's
Lynn.
on page 15 in our CMB's.
Again, the more hands we have involved
15.
with this, the better. If people, we've lost trust. This is another way for us to say, hey, we're doing it right. And members are looking at it. Members are working on it. And so it's awesome.
Not today, but,
Okay.
okay.
So if you are interested in any of the other committees, you can find them in our CMBs. I
Page
believe,
15.
yeah, page 15 is where it
Section
starts.
7.
So you can go through that.
Section 1
We're
through
always looking for
9.
more members to get involved. If you have an interest, just come talk to us. I'm sure we can find somewhere in our chapter that could benefit with your knowledge set here. So that is good. We now have 3 committees, which is an improvement. So thank you. I'm happy, I'm hoping that everyone here did sign up for the summer assistance program. If you qualified for it, I'm excited that, to hopefully see we had more members sign up than last year. Last year we had 309. I am crossing my fingers that we get we have way more. Considering that they increased the total from 42,000 to about 62,000, I believe, 62.4. I'm really hoping that we will have way more participation, and unlike last year, I'm happy to say that some of the shaming we have done as a board at board meetings and in our one-on-one meetings worked. The district will be picking up the tab for any administrative costs associated to the program for the second year. So it works to go in and say it, to go and talk to people and go and talk to the board. So that is a big win. I'm happy that so many of our members benefit from this program, and I'm hoping that CSEA can somehow convince the state to continue with this program, because it's very popular, at least with the chapters that do it, and it helps people. So that is my sincere hope. I'm still just doing site visits. I still haven't really done any site visits during my working hours, so I know that there's a lot of people who don't get to see me during the working day. I am going to work on getting to sites during your working hours. On kind of going off of that, we do have on the books, there are flyers back there. I do want to meet with paraeducators. I want to face-to-face. I had a meeting last month with our building services, daytime custodial, and nutrition services staff. It was the meeting time was geared specifically to them because they end their shift between 2 and 2:30, and I wanted to give them an opportunity to hear from me and some of the executive board regarding negotiations, and then just let them take the floor with member concerns and let me know what's going on. So I'd like to also do that with our paraeducators. The flyers will be going out digitally and hard copies as well, but for those of you here and there, we have meetings scheduled on March 18th at 11:30 and 3:30 at the district office. I believe it's P4.
Yes.
P4, yes. And then I have another meeting scheduled on March 24th, also in P4 at the district office at 3:30. So all that information is going to be getting out. I will preface, I understand that not everyone is going to be able to meet. It was not easy coming up with this time slot. I had input from 4 paraeducators to kind of give me ideas of this, of what times could work. And I am very thankful for those 4 that were able to give me that input. But I understand for multiple reasons that not everyone will be able to meet. So if you're able to, please go to that meeting. If you're not, I will be sending out a survey to all of those classifications. I will be getting help, Karen. Yeah, Karen. With making sure that that gets into the hands of our paraeducators as well for those that can attend. And I plan on running that meeting basically the same way. I want to offer those classifications a chance to ask questions about negotiations and then go into member concerns. So that is being scheduled, and Astrid, our labor rep, will also be there for that meeting. And we have negotiations. We meet with the district on the 17th, St. Patty's Day. So I think that's it for me. Rodrigo had to leave early, so the only thing he wanted to mention to membership was we don't represent members during workers' comp meetings. You can request for someone, a job steward, to be there, but we don't regularly really represent during that type of a meeting, okay? And if you have any further questions on that subject matter, I'm gonna refer you to Rodrigo, okay? And that is it for the president and second VP. First VP?
I've got a couple goodies. One, we need to start doing, I'll keep it light first. Okay, so this weekend, Adriana and I were lucky enough to go to a leadership meeting for CSEA this past weekend. It was held at the Queen Mary, and it was amazing. We were able to go over Robert's Rules of Order, which helps you know how a meeting is going to be conducted to where it's fair and equal for everyone involved. Has to do with motioning and doing the voting and knowing when you can interrupt someone and when you cannot. There's so many different things that go into it. We also got to network with other chapters and see how they do things. A lot of chapters were really surprised about the videotaping. They did not know that that was a possibility, and we were able to share that with them. We got to hear ideas on how other people have had similar problems that we have even gone through, and how they gained the trust of their members back. And so we were able to bring all of those goodies back with us. I would like to do one of the activities that we did for this next meeting, if possible. I'll see if I can stick it up on there.
We also got trained on, with resolutions.
Oh, yeah.
How, how they come about and what the steps we take. And,
So I brought my little thing with us. On Saturday, we went over, of course, a welcoming. We did If You Really Knew Me, which basically was a kind of a little breakdown so that we can communicate with all the other people who were there.
but it had to
All of
be
them.
somebody new that you didn't know.
Someone you've never met before. Went ahead and talked about a leadership journey and how you can become leaders and how you can encourage others to become leaders, because being a strong union is not all about you, it's about we. And so how can I encourage other people to be the leader that I would aspire to be, not just me being a leader myself. We had committee and benefit providers who were able to explain what all of the different benefits and committees that the district, that CSEA themselves have. I know that Adriana is part of member benefits, so that she was able to present that to the group. We have a lot of different groups that are out there. I know that you're a good resource for that. A lot of different things that CSEA offers to our members for free, and I know you'll probably want to talk about that. So it was nice to be able to see that. We went ahead and we talked about the status of where we felt that our chapter was at currently, and looked at goals of where can we move next, what step do you want to get to, and how can you do those things. We went over the history of CSEA, which was amazing, because even myself, I don't know all of the details that go with that. And then, of course, resolutions and Robert's Rule of Order. Kind of more just getting to know the structuring of everything. And then Sunday, we did organizational priorities of CSEA, the main chapter, the large entity itself, the organizational structure of that, and then member recognitions as well, because we do have, every year they do recognize members. This next year, I would love for us to participate in that. We were late in the game this year. But it was an amazing opportunity to network, to get ideas, and to learn how to inspire you guys, because that's an important part. Next, we are gonna be doing the LA Fed. That was something that was brought up in the 2019 school year. It was voted upon in April, correct, Gina?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to change the language in our CMBs. So the first step of that is being able to read it out to you. I'm making the suggestion that we make this change to our CMBs. We then will have to have written notice out to every single member, and then it will be voted upon on the next meeting. But for this one, I would like to read it to you. It's a little bit lengthy, I apologize. Let me pull it up very quickly.
So this is the first reading of the
This is the first reading.
changing of the Constitution and bylaws.
So it's gonna be Article 20, or it says XX, I believe it's still going to be 20. Delegates to the Central Labor Council. Section 1, delegates. Delegates to the LA Fed Central Labor Council shall be designated from among the active members in good standing, not including active retired members, as follows. A, the chapter president or designee from the executive board. B, additional delegates in such number as may be authorized by the governing document of the LA Fed Central Labor Council. Section 2, election. A, nominations for the authorized delegate positions other than the president or executive board designee shall be taken at the regular chapter meeting in, we would designate a month. And election shall be secret ballot at the next chapter meeting in, we would have a month. Notification of nominations and election and all over procedural matters relating to the delegate election shall conform to Association Policy 618 and shall be conducted under the supervision of the Elections Committee. C, term of office for the elected members shall commence upon their election and continue for X number of years or until their successors are elected. Generally, it's 1 year. D, vacancies shall be filed by the special education for the remainder of the special election for the remainder of the original term only. 3, responsibilities. Delegates shall A, make written or oral reports to the executive board and chapter. B, make periodic reports as requested, regional presidents at regional presidents meetings as requested or during RPMs, that's what our regional presidents meetings are. C, follow the constitution and bylaws of the Central Label Council in respect to delegate duties to the Central Label Council. D, represent the chapter at the Central Label Council on all applicable CSEA issues. E, attend monthly Central Labor Council meetings. F, attend monthly Central Labor Council Executive Board meetings as appropriate. And G, ensure that all actions are consistent with CSEA policies and procedures, including political endorsements. So again, this is just, we are going to be, thanks to ARE, they were willing to pay for us to join the LA Fed. It's a larger union that we're partnering with. More unions together makes us stronger. We can work off of each other again, we can communicate with each other, and we can find things that will make us a stronger entity ourselves. ARE has already said they wanted to pay for us. It was voted on, we're good. Now we need to decide how we're gonna get people who are gonna represent our chapter when they go to these events. And so that's basically what this language is describing. It's saying how you get chosen and what the expectations of you are. You need to be a monthly, you're gonna be doing monthly activities, basically. So that's my first reading, just giving you guys a heads up. Again, we will have the actual written document available before next chapter meeting so that members can read it, they can look through it, they can ask questions. We can change this language slightly depending on what we want to we can add additional things, like we want somebody to report to every single chapter meeting and report their findings, things like that. So we can make some changes to this language, but I want to provide it to you guys so you can see it, you can ask questions, you can fully understand it, and it will be voted upon at the next chapter meeting. Any questions? Yes?
So this has not been in our CMBs?
Not yet, no.
So you're just adding this?
Yeah, it has to be added in, yeah.
Got it. And how long have we been? Just 1 year?
We will be. We're technically not part of the LA Fed until we get this in and we send a delegate. Once we do this paperwork and we show all of the steps that we've taken and that we've done everything, then we become a member. As of right now, we are not a member.
And then ARE is gonna continuously pay the fees?
First year, yes. Once that year is up, we need to make a decision as a chapter if we're gonna continue with these dues. They're they offered to pay for us for the first year.
So they've been paying since April of
No,
last year?
no.
So as soon as it's voted upon, and they will start
They
the
will pay
payment?
for the they will pay
So
for
that
it.
was in April, our April chapter meeting,
Yeah.
April 2019.
Yeah.
Chapter
So
meeting.
we just need to get this done. We need to get it moving. We need to get it rolling. And so this is a major step towards us getting someone to represent us. And it's an amazing opportunity. So we may not do it next year. It's up to you guys.
Cause it is pricey.
It is gonna be expensive. I don't know all the details, but you know, it's something to take into account. It is something to budget for. And I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, that's not it.
Oh, that's it.
We had
That's it.
no, we had his first site rep meeting this last Friday, and it was I'm so grateful for everyone who showed up. Thank you for giving us ideas. Thank you for asking questions. Again, I'm gonna encourage people out there, if you are not a site rep, please become a site rep. It's a wonderful networking experience. It's a wonderful way for you to be able to know firsthand what is going on. And we always need more people. We are always gonna need more hands to help us out. These meetings, I would like to have them, and I'm gonna give you guys an actual for sure schedule. They're gonna be doing south side, north side, reversing every other month. They're gonna be, to make it more simple, for some people can't drive as far. Some people don't have a car, so I wanna make it accessible to both sides of our district. It is not mandatory to attend those meetings if you are a site rep or an office manager, but of course it's encouraged. If you have questions with a member that you just wanted to ask on their representation, that is a good opportunity for you to ask questions to see what steps would be for them as well. And that's it.
Thank you,
Now-
sister.
Yes, sorry.
Can you guys briefly touch upon the list that's supposed to be going out to each site
Oh,
regarding
yes.
our emails and all that stuff, so that way we can get in contact? Brianne is not here.
Yeah.
Yes, she's out on,
Or should we just wait until she?
no, do you wanna, you're on PAC, do you wanna?
Yeah, you are on
finish up
PAC.
Do you have it right there?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the PAC committee put up with this little gonna be at every site. It's gonna be at every site. Look for it. Well, anyways, it's a list, and, it's gonna ask for your name, your site, your address, not your email, and your cell phone number. This is basically, a contact, so that way we can update you guys on what's going on. You know, we got the Facebook going on, we got YouTube going on, but we wanna make sure we get information out to everybody as much as possible. So, yeah, so this has already been passed out to our site reps. Go ahead and go look for, if you don't know who your site rep is, let us know, and, we'll figure out who's supposed to get it to you guys.
I don't have it, and I'm a site rep.
We just got it on Friday too.
Okay.
I believe this is, I forgot the date that she said that we were supposed to.
Brianna may still have most of them. The hope was we were gonna try to reach a couple of you guys today.
Yeah, there was only
Um,
like 3 site reps at
yeah,
that meeting, so
yeah.
it didn't get passed out to all of them and everything.
I think it's, the plan is we can get them in the mail Friday. It should be, I'm hoping we get it in the mail side Friday, we stick it on those mails, and we'll have it on Monday, cause Warehouse is awesome and they help us amazingly, so.
So please sign up, email,
Yeah.
phone number, so we can get you guys as many updates as possible, so that way you guys are in the know of everything that's going on. Rallies, chapter meetings, whatever, okay? So, yeah.
Thank you, sister.
Can I just add something to Facebook? If you're at Rowland High School, it's so hard to get to everybody, so go to the workroom, it'll be in there and you guys sign up.
Good job.
Is there a list of, site reps from each site? We've asked our supposedly site rep that we're supposed to have at our site, and he said, I'm not a site rep, I'm like.
I know for the district office, Cecilia Montiano has accepted being a site rep, cause she's been pretty much posting in the main office.
That's why we need a list of
Right.
who's our site rep.
Let me talk to Debbie too and see if she's
Yeah, we
willing
can
to
get something.
accept that. Cause we need more, we do, we need a lot more people to help us
Yeah.
get this word out. Of course, the PAC committee came up with a wonderful way for us to, we need your info. Without your info, we're only reaching a certain number of members every single time. If we get your info, when we want you to come out, we need you to help us stand outside and picketing. We need you at board meetings. We need you to wear your blue. We need you to write letters to the board. Those things, we can't communicate properly unless we have that information. And so PAC worked on that. It's awesome. This is step 1 to us getting organized and to be as strong as we would love to be, which is how ARE is. We would love to be at their level. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah,
And this is step 1.
I did mention this at that site rep meeting, that organizationally, CSEA, is minimum at least 5 years behind where ARE is today. So I know that we do have a lot of people that want us to be like ARE. I do look at ARE and want our chapter organizationally to be like ARE, but we have to acknowledge that we are 5 years minimum years behind where they are as an organization right now. So we're doing a lot. You see, every little step forward is a big gain for us. Another committee being fully staffed is a big gain. More people getting involved in PAC, more people signing up to be site reps. All of these things will add up eventually. So just work with us as we start getting this ball moving, okay? But thank you for that. Sister, I know you had a question.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what is PAC? So I'm getting that's a committee?
Yes.
That the site reps
It's the
are
political
involved in
action
to-
committee, not the site reps.
Just site
Not
reps.
site reps.
Anybody can
Anyone,
volunteer to be
yes.
on it.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it's information that they bring back to the members?
Yeah,
By
so-
email?
So PAC stands for Political Action Committee. It's the arm of any chapter and our organization that will do a lot of the political work. Organizing in and itself can be political. Just us being here is probably political. Part of what I have asked PAC to do is to start to organize a lot of our classifications together, just to start to get input. I've talked to PAC already, so I don't wanna start to let things go up, but we have been talking about what PAC long-term will be doing for for our chapter, for our members. Part of the actual like political branch of PAC though is like electing board members. And that is something that ARE has already started to talk to Brianna and I about. It's something that unfortunately we're still trying to play catch up here, but it is basically just the political arm of our chapter here.
Okay, and then I had another question.
Yeah.
In the department that I'm from, there's already 2 site reps.
Yeah.
What are the qualifications for a site rep?
You have to be a member in good standing. That's it. I have always billed, and I know that Lita is gonna do with the program, she's gonna make it better. I've always billed site rep as being the easiest way to get involved because you are a messenger. You receive information by coming to chapter meetings or by attending her
Or
now
checking emails.
or checking emails. You disseminate that information. You give that information to membership, and in turn they tell you what their concerns are, and then you relay that information back to us. It's a two-way street. It's billed as the easiest way to get involved in our chapter right now.
For
So
some
is
people, it's
that
as
by
simple as
nominating?
posting it, you know?
No,
Is that by, no, that's not by
No,
nominating? And,
no.
how many per site is it?
when I was in Lita's position, I wanted every secondary site to at minimum have 3 site reps and every elementary to have 2. No site has that minimum. I can tell you right now, we're still at below 50% representation, meaning that not even 50% of our school sites or departments have an active site rep in there. So it's just be a member in good standing, and you wanting to become a site rep is already qualification enough in my book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There is nothing that says that there is a cap. So I will not have a cap.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the pack. I hope that I'm sure that Brianna will be with us next time to elaborate. But thank you, Karen, for being here and for giving us that input right now. So moving down the line, Gina, do you have anything to report back?
Oh yes, I do actually. I was selected for the 2020 Organizing Institute, training in Pasadena for next week. And I understand that, Brianna is on too, so Brianna and I will be attending that Organizational Institute.
Okay.
For the week.
What is that?
It's a way to kind of teach us how to organize, how to gather members and organize. So I've never attended, so I just read and I applied for it because it's something that sparked an interest in me on how to organize members and present to district and whoever else we need to present to on our needs as members and our wants as members. So I was really driven to apply for that, and I guess I don't know how it works, but there was 2 of us that were selected. So Brianna and I will be attending. So I heard it's a pretty intense training, and we'll be showed like there's gonna be teams and stuff, and it's a very intense training for a whole week. So I'm excited to learn and grow, so we can grow as a chapter as well.
You're tough, you got this.
Yeah.
I have a question. Can anybody go to those events?
Yes.
Anybody can. If you go onto the CSEA website, there's so many things, and that's what I can't express enough, that there's so many opportunities to learn. And I did my own researching on different things that I had an interest to do. So you don't have to be qualified. You don't have to have permission from the e-board or from our president. You can just apply and you can be selected by your application. I think this one was like a 4 or 5 page questionnaire that I had to submit with just interests that I wanted, reasons why I wanted to be involved and stuff. So they're pretty basic applications, so you can apply for anything. And I would recommend for anybody to just go on the CSEA website and look for all the opportunities, because that's how our chapter is going to grow. We're going to grow by our own knowledge. And so with our knowledge is going to give us the power. And as a whole, when we have the power, it's gonna be a lot stronger towards our district, so that's my goal is organizing, is to get on board and organize, cause we're growing, and as you see tonight, it's diminished, but it doesn't mean that the next meeting isn't gonna be, you know, more people, so, people come as they can, everybody has schedules, we all understand that. But as long as we're on the same board, on the same page and wavelength as far as learning and growing our chapter, so that we can gain power, that's what we need. And that's what I've seen, and that was my vision 2 years ago when I came on board, is the growth and the strength in our union, and that's what we need to do, is strengthen this chapter.
Here, here.
Okay. Treasurer?
Nothing to report,
Okay.
just, that we attended the training, and it was amazing. 'Cause they also trained us also on site reps and the importance of having this and stuff, but no.
Okay. So, that concludes item 8. We're gonna move on to good of the order. Does anyone have anything for good of the order? Yes.
So last month, I believe it was, let me see, the overpayment, was that given to us last month?
No.
The month before?
Oh, wait.
The what?
The
It was
overpayment,
last month,
this report?
it was
I'm gonna
last
let you
month,
answer that.
yeah.
You answer it.
So have we gotten anything back yet, or is
Uh,
there like a deadline on when
Okay,
they're gonna pay it back, or?
Rigo just gave me his check today, and I'm gonna start filling out, there's a paper I have to fill out and send it out to everybody for reimbursement. But Rigo reimbursed us today.
Okay.
As far as everybody that attended conference?
Yes.
Do you have those numbers?
Yes.
For everybody? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
It's
Whatever.
$24.
That's what we all owe?
Yeah,
Okay.
each.
Okay. I'll get you a check tomorrow. What's there anything?
Anything else for good of the order?
Is there any reports on, negotiations?
We go back to the table on the 17th.
The 17th?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was hoping that we could have met once again in February, but between the district's calendars, CSEA's calendars, and our facilitator's calendar, there were no common dates that we could come together. So it's unfortunately not until March 17th. Nothing has changed between then and now. Yeah.
Next Thursday, March 12th, we're going to try to rally with the ARE for the district board meeting. So it starts at 4:30 to 7 o'clock. We're blue. We want you guys out there supporting our teachers and supporting ourselves as well. They are looking for parents, they're looking for community members, us to go and speak. So yeah, get out there and let's rally with the teachers. That's basically it.
What date?
This is next Thursday, March 12th. We're blue.
Thank you, sister. Anything else for good of the order? No? Okay. Item 10, our upcoming meetings. We have a Board of Ed meeting on March 12th. Thank you to our sister for informing us about our rally, to be out there to support our brothers and sisters in ARE. We also have a Personnel Commission meeting on Tuesday, April 7th. I'd like to move on to item 11, make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 6:30 p.m.
I first.
Okay, I have a first. Do I have a second? Rigo or Edgar? Let's go with Rigo. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'll be here for a little bit if you have anything else you want to ask, but thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Drive safe.
Yeah, at least up to like 7 people on YouTube.
Hey,
That's cool.
that's good.
That is great.
Hey,
You know?
Glad
That's-
people are really.
thank you.
into it.
That's good.
I'll try to see if I'm getting a link ahead of time, that way it's more easy.
You're a thing? You're a thing?
No, I'm the secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah, I mean, I was a lot more like on this part where I was like,
Oh,
I'm Lisa.
Yeah.
Hi,
Really
Lisa.
good.
You are second
You know?
vice president?
I'm first VP.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
okay.
So nice to meet you.
Thank
And
you.
welcome to the team. We got you.
Adriana, the treasurer, and What's your name?
Margie.